Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Crowning Moment. My name is Casey Gibson, and today we have another very special guest, and she's going to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I am Elyse Sevi. I am the Telegenic Queen. I am the founder and owner of Telegenic Queen, which is an on-camera talent coaching service. It is extremely exciting. I have been working on camera for more than 15 years total, and it is a passion of mine, to be perfectly honest. We all know that camera can be really scary, and my job is to make it not scary and to make it easier for you to talk about your brand and your platform.
Amazing. And kind of a little backstory of how we got connected, how we met. Thankfully, with VIP pageantry and my national director, Tava and Connie, they got us connected and we did an amazing interview just a few short weeks ago. So make sure to check out my teen, Shelby, and I for the America's United States Pageant Systems interview on the In Focus with VIP pageantry. And so it was amazing to get to know you and get to meet you. And after I, did the whole interview with you, I knew you were someone that we needed to bring on the podcast. You have a completely different coaching style that no one has really tapped into yet. And that was one thing that I definitely admired, because being behind the camera or just staying in an interview is completely different. I get sometimes they record your interview and that's great, but having those live in-person conversations behind the camera can be a little nerve-wracking. So let's talk about that a little bit. How did you get into this industry? How did you come up with this entire idea?
Okay, so really I have to give all the credit to Layla Rose and Holly Lynch from VIP Pageantry. They approached me. I know them very well, and they approached me, and it was kind of an idea that Layla had years ago. I had emceed a pageant, Princess of America pageant here in the Dayton area where I'm from in Ohio. And she had said, you should really think about coaching these girls, because some of them want to do what you do, or some of them want to be, red carpet reporters or entertainment reporters, and even with social media videos and everything like that. And I didn't think about it at the time. I was kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then it kind of became an idea, like she had planted the seed, if that makes sense. And then years later, I was like, actually, you might be right about this thing. So that's kind of how Telegenic Queen was born. And I've been doing this now for almost a year, and it is so much fun. And I realized by being on camera, because I have, reporter and anchor experience. So I'm in the news industry, the broadcast industry. And I realized through my years of interviewing people that I've had to coach a lot of people through an interview itself. I've had to tell them, this is where you look. This is how you stand. This is how you engage your audience. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. But I really love it because I get to work one-on-one with people. And that's something that, as a reporter or anchor, you're kind of like, okay, moving on to the next. And I don't have to, I can build a relationship. And I love that about what I'm doing.
And that is exactly that. And like you said, mentioning having to kind of coach people through these interviews already, as like you said, looking where to look, how to stand, how to speak. And that's something that I know personally I've had to deal with, as well as doing this podcast, is when you get someone that you're interviewing, sometimes they may not be as comfortable on camera as you are. And that's completely fine. Some of my episodes have turned into only audio because the way they looked at the camera, it was almost like a fear of, did I say the right question? Did I answer this correctly? And being able to commit to what you say and just be like, yep, this is me. I am proud of what I said. I can stand by what I said, is a really nice feeling. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. What is it like coming into one of your coaching sessions and kind of give us a run through of what that looks like?
Yeah. So we start with a free virtual consultation. So I want to know kind of where you think you need to go, where you think you might be a little more worried. And I hate to say the word insecure, because I feel like we can all work on our insecurities. We're all insecure about something, right? I know I'm insecure about things as well. So I hate to say that, because I don't want them to feel, or anyone to feel as if they can't be open and honest with me about it. And I know that coming in, sometimes the women and girls are a little intimidated, because I do have on camera experience, and the camera is scary for them. And I get it 100%. So I first want to just say, don't ever be scared. It's never, ever, ever a scary thing. But I start with a free virtual consultation. And we talk about what you're doing now, where you want to go, and what you want to focus on, and maybe where you think your weaknesses are and where your strengths are. Because I want a good idea of what you're thinking. Because I guess my what's the word I'm looking for here? My ability should not, or my, I don't hate to say the word confidence either. My comfortability, that's what I'm thinking of. My comfortability is going to be different than someone else's. So, and I am well aware of that. And so we start with the free virtual consultation, and then we'll talk about all of those things, and then we'll figure out a game plan. So I am currently working on creating some mini e-courses. So I'm going to have 5 different e-courses that you can download videos for. There's going to be on-camera basics, which is going to have 5 different videos. It'll cover where do you look, how do you stand during an interview, what do you do, kind of a thing. What should you wear is going to be another one. So it's going to focus on how to dress. It's going to focus on how to do your hair and makeup, because it is different. I'm well aware that in pageantry, it's a little different than what you want to do for on camera and how you want to focus things on camera, because you and what you say want to be the focus during your interview and not necessarily what you're wearing. I know that's crazy. I understand. And then also how to engage with your audience, how to connect with your audience. That's going to be another e-course I'm offering. And also interview quality. So it's basically how to build a professional studio in your home. Like I'm sitting at my dining room table right now, and I have my ring light and I've got my blinds, but I also have like a little bit of something behind me. And you want to make sure that it's professional looking, right? But also not distracting. So those are the 5 e-courses that I'm focusing on. I'm currently creating them. And then I'm also going to have an overall package as well. So it'll include all 5 of the e-courses. It'll include some other PDFs I'm working on, like how to become newsworthy, how to become a guest on your local TV station, how do you book those interviews. And then also it'll include 6 one-on-one virtual coaching sessions in that package as well. So I'm working on it. I'm getting there, I promise. It'll be available very, very soon.
That is amazing. And that's something that people don't hear often, is definitely what you wear on camera. That says a lot too. And so I know, when I'm getting behind the camera, people normally see me in my own merch where I'm wearing my Crowning Moment hoodie, because that's just like the staple look I have. I like to change up the colors every once in a while, but having that flashy, just, big feathers, something crazy going on, that's very distracting. You may be talking about something that you're very passionate about, something that's very important to you. And all I'm looking at is her earrings pink? Or what does she wear? What is on her neck? And that's something that people do not realize. So what would be a good piece of advice for someone when picking out an outfit to be maybe on a red carpet or behind camera when they're getting interviewed?
So it's going to differ depending, like if you're on a red carpet, you can obviously glam up. That's appropriate, because that event is appropriate for that look. So it's all dependent upon, like, how do you want to wear your hair? Do you want it down? Do you want it up? In that moment, in that event, or in that, on the red carpet, you can kind of do what you like, but be careful. I would be careful even wearing bigger earrings on the red carpet, whether your hair is down or up. And I know that's hard sometimes, but you don't want them to be jiggling and sparkling. And I don't want to look at your earrings. Like, do you know? Right, exactly. I don't want to look at your earrings. I want to look at you. I want to hear what you're saying, and I want to look into your eyes. Now, if you're going to be doing a local TV interview in studio and you're talking about your platform, and maybe your platform is going out and cleaning up the trash in your local park, you could wear a nice dress, your hair down, but again, don't wear those big accessories. Now, if you're going to meet the reporter out, or you're going to be out somewhere, doing some sort of volunteer work, you could be a little more cash about it. Wear a nice top, nice pair of pants. You could even get away with a nice pair of jeans if you're out, say, cleaning up your local park. It's all a matter of what is it that you're doing and what is it that you're talking about, and just making sure that you're the focus. And like you mentioned, Casey, and what you're saying is the focus, because that's the most important part of it.
Absolutely. And another thing that I know my difficult point is finding the perfect pair of
Mm.
shoes to stand in for these interviews. 'Cause sometimes I know I've done the Miss America interviews, they take 10 minutes. So your feet start to get like a little bit tired. You're standing at that really high angle. Have you found any tips and tricks to kind of help with those? Maybe a different shoe that you use, anything like that?
Okay, so shoes are incredibly important, right? We need them to look like sassy because I love a good sassy pair of shoes. I am all about the snake skin, the leopard print because that's where I can kind of show my personality a little bit, right? But we've got to watch that heel.
Yeah.
You got to watch that heel. So don't do the platform. Honestly, I know that like that is the standard in pageantry to use those platform shoes, but when you have to stand for not even 10 minutes, but sometimes, as an anchor and a reporter, you're standing for an hour or more. You need to make sure that those shoes are comfortable. So no platforms. And, you could do open toe. I love me a good open toe shoe. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes they can get a little uncomfortable too because your foot slides a little bit more in those open toes. So I find and even the rounded toe, and I know that we love our pointy toed shoes, but a rounded toe, if you're going to be standing for a long time, is just a little more comfortable because you don't want to be like, oh, my back and my neck and my shoulders, because it really does, mess all of that up. So you want to make sure that you're most comfortable. And that's kind of, and even the smaller heels, I don't go with kitten heel. I will, do a couple inches, but platforms I stay away from altogether.
I want to ask this. This is kind of out of the realm of the telegenic, being on live a camera. But going into those interviews, I recently had seen a TikTok that Bill Albertson put out, who's another really good interview coach out there. And he talked about, switching it up, not wearing those nude shoes all the time when you have a hot pink dress and then you have these nude shoes. What are your thoughts on spicing it up? I know you love to put some patterns with your heels, but what are your thoughts on, adding color to the outfit, maybe matching it, maybe wearing a red shoe with the red suit? What are your thoughts?
I love that. I think that's amazing. I love bright colors, obviously. Well, if you can't see me, but I'm wearing a bright yellow dress. I be careful with bright colors though too. I love the jewel tones. Jewel tones are amazing on camera. The camera always does some amazing stuff with jewel tones. You can wear your blacks and you can wear your browns, but you got to be careful how you wear them. I think on camera, pinks are great. You don't want it to be a neon pink. That's what I would worry about with some of the pinks. And pastels can also be great, but you have to make sure that it goes with your skin tone. Like I can't get away with the pastels like some women can. I wish I could. It's just not my thing. It washes me out. So that's what you have to, and I know a lot of the girls are going to be, aware of what color they look great in. I think flashy is totally fine. Just make sure it's appropriate. And I think matching your shoes is great. I don't see why you couldn't do that. Like I said, I love a good sassy shoe. I'm all about it. I have shoes with rhinestones on them. I have shoes with the little gold pieces on them. I love that. And I get a lot of compliments on it too.
Yeah, definitely in pageantry, the new thing we've been seeing is even with the evening gowns, wearing a blue evening gown, having a blue heel, or I know when I always wore I have a very, everybody knows this dress if they know me, it's my navy velvet. I always wore a black heel with it that kind of blended with it. So if the dress were to come up, you wouldn't see that it's this big, chunky nude heel. And so that's been the new thing, is adding that same color in with your outfit, whether it's walk-in or interview or even on stage for evening gowns. So I want to go back into that behind the camera, viewing. What are some makeup tips? I know last season on The Bachelor, they were talking about some crazy stuff, putting like actual baking powder or baby powder on their faces. What are some good ways to keep the shine away, or some good makeup tips that you have?
Yeah, so shine is a huge thing because you're in front of the camera too. So you don't want to use, and I know it's the highlight. You don't want to use the highlight. I don't ever use that. In fact. That is something you want to stay away from because it will make you look sweaty. shiny on camera. I use, you got to have a great base, right? You got to have a great foundation. Personally, I use, it is NYX. I wish I had it with me. I'm so sorry. Oh, I guess it does. They're not going to see it anyway. It's NYX and it's HD powder. And it is the most amazing. It just absorbs all of that shine. So I put that on right before I go on camera, and it stays with me the whole time. So that's one of my tricks that I use. Now, even eye makeup, I know I do use a little shimmer every once in a while, but don't go all the way up. Keep it to just the lid and don't go all the way up to your eyebrows. Yeah, exactly. And that's something that I definitely do. And that's going to be something that I talk about a lot with my e-courses and coaching, because the makeup is a little different than what you would use in pageantry and really even in real life. It's kind of amazing. You don't want to use too much, but you need to use enough, if that makes sense. And so that's probably my favorite product, I think, is that NYX HD powder. And it's like photogenic something or other. And it's amazing.
I 1000% agree with that. I have had to learn how to do on camera makeup. I do hair and makeup on the side as well with Corey King. And so I have to know how to do my hair, my makeup, and then have to figure out the pageant side of makeup, because that's a completely different look. And that's what some people don't realize. We're not doing, your everyday look. I can't roll out of bed and get on camera. It may not even transfer well. My skin may be clear, it may be good. I could put mascara on, but my face may flash in different areas that I would not realize if I didn't have my powders on. And yes, that highlighter, you have got to be so careful. There's an interview out there of me, and it's like, I think this was 2017, and I have just lines of the highlight, because that's when it was a big deal. It was like the Huda era where it's the shiny frosted look. No. Leave the frosted look with the frosted flakes for breakfast. You do not need it on the camera at all.
100% agree.
Another big thing, what are your thoughts on lash length? I know I love a good, nice wispy or a demi wispy moment. What are your, thoughts on lashes and how they kind of do or work for you on camera?
Yeah, so I don't wear a whole lot of fake lashes on camera. I personally love a more natural look. That's just me. Now, if I'm going to glam it up and I'm emceeing an event like a fundraiser or gala, yeah, I'm going to throw on a lash. But now I do know there are, and I hate, personally, I don't like it, but there are a lot of reporters and anchors that do, because they just simply don't have the lashes. Like, I have a lot of length in my natural lashes, and they're pretty thick. So that's why I don't typically use them, but I think you can. I personally would just keep it more natural. Again, lashes are beautiful. Lashes are great. Lashes can really make your eyes stand out. But on camera, I have found it can cause a shadow, which will make your under eye look darker, or it can also close your eyes and make them look a little squinty, and not probably the technical term for that, but make them look a little more slitted, and then you want your eyes to be bright and open, and because that's how you engage your audience. That's how you connect with them, is through your eyes. So that personally is I just don't use them, because I like my eyes open and bright, and that's just me personally.
Oh, I 1000% agree. And I know we talked a little bit about background and a little bit of lighting on what it's like to do those behind the camera things, even at home. And I know last year, or maybe 2 years ago, the Miss Earth USA system had done at-home interviews. So what would be your recommendation on, if you're doing that interview at home, this is your actual interview for competition, what really should you have? What should you prepare with? Do you have a specific light that you like to use that may give you good lighting when you're prepping for this interview?
I do, actually. I think I have it on my blog, and I've actually linked it because I love it so much. So I wish I could share with you and show you, but I have a link on my blog to a whole kit of what you can use, because I'm a big fan of also using microphones, because I know that, the iPhone picks up the audio pretty decently well, but a microphone is going to drown out any outside noise whatsoever. So like say you can't help if your neighbor is mowing their lawn, right? But if you have a microphone, it's going to keep it nice and crisp and clear and make you the center of attention and not your neighbor mowing their lawn, in front of your house or whatever it is. So I would just say my biggest thing is making sure there is no noise distractions. Because again, you're the focus. It's all about you. And you want to make sure that the whoever it is, and this goes for social media videos too, right? You want to make sure no matter what, you're the focus and not your neighbor down the street or not the car that's going by your house loud. I also use a ring light. I love my ring lights. They give a beautiful, soft lighting. And I am a huge fan of natural light. If I could show you what my home studio looks like right now, I'm sitting at my dining table and in front of me is my big window, letting in the natural light. And then I have my ring light to just help with it, but I have it on the natural light setting. Natural light is going to give you the best look. Now, that does not mean go stand in the sunshine because that's not going to do you justice. So don't do that. And then setting up things behind you, you want to make sure it's clean and you want to make sure it looks good, but you want to have something. You can just do a plain white wall too. It's completely up to you. But personally, I like a little something behind me.
I agree with that. And I want to kind of flip this on you. And I want to ask you a few questions and kind of see, how do you react to these things, or what would your tips and tricks be for the reaction of a question that you may not know? So
Okay.
Are you ready? Perfect. Okay. So hypothetically, you're standing on the red carpet and they're getting ready to ask you a question, and they ask you something that you have zero idea about. It could be a political topic or something else. You have no idea. How do you answer this type of question if you don't even know what the words mean that came out of the reporter's mouth? What do you do?
You politely say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." I mean, you just be honest and authentic about it. You say, "You know what? I have not been able to get on and watch the news today. And so I'm so sorry. I've not been able to get the most recent information and facts on that. But I am going to go check it out now that you mentioned it, because obviously it's a big enough topic and a big enough issue that you want my opinion on. And I just cannot fairly give it to you without knowing everything I need to know."
Ooh, that was good. Okay. If they ask you something very simple, like what's your favorite color, or, how was your day? How should you go ahead and initiate that conversation when they first just kind of grab you off the carpet to chat?
So if they grab you off the carpet and they say, "What's your favorite color?" You say, "Oh my gosh, my favorite color is purple, but I also love A, B, and C, pinks and blues. And, I just really enjoy wearing purple because I always feel my best in it. I feel like it brightens up my face and it looks really great with my hair and my eyes. It really, I have green eyes personally. So it really makes them pop when I wear that color. So it's one of my absolute favorite colors to wear, whether just lounging around at home, or I love to wear it in front of the camera, and I love to wear it, on stage as well."
Ooh, all right. And again, if they ask you, like, how are you feeling? How's it going? Like, what are you doing? And you may not be having the best day. How do you kind of flip that conversation? Or do you just be honest and say, my day's not going great? Like, what do you do?
I think it depends on the situation in that, say you're on the red carpet and they say, "Oh, how are you doing today?" And you're not having a great day. You say, "You know what? I was having kind of a not a great day, but right now I'm really enjoying myself and I'm having a wonderful time. And I really think things are going to get better. It's just going to be on the up and up, and we're just here to have a great time tonight."
That's good. See, I wanted to do this little question and answer so that people that may not know these answers, or they may get stumbled when somebody just grabs them off of the carpet, or, it's like, "Hey, it's time, we're going to interview now." kind of a good way to pick up that conversation. Do you have any more advice for someone that may be in that situation, that it may not be any of the questions we just went over, but it's the quick grab and they just start interviewing you? What'd be a good way, maybe a body stance, or just kind of a good way to initiate conversation?
I think you have to go in with confidence. I think that's the biggest piece of advice I can give you. You're not going to know the answer to every single question that they ask you, and that's okay. You know, that's what I think a lot of people get so wrapped up in and worried about, is we're human. And that is the biggest thing that I want to teach people and want them to learn from me, is we're all human. I don't know the answer to every single question. I don't know, what's going on in every single country either. And that's okay. You're allowed to be human, because you know what? That's what helps you engage with your audience. That's what connects you to your audience, because they don't know everything either. And it's okay to be open and honest about that, because it's being authentic. And that's what people want. They want to know that you're authentic. There are so many times that I've been on air where I've had to say, I haven't heard about that. I'm going to go check it out. And never once has a viewer been like, what is wrong? Why doesn't she know about this? Because I'm real about it. I am honest about it. And I think that that's the best piece of advice I can give, is go in with confidence and be real and authentic. And people are going to love you for that.
That is really great advice. And I want to just say thank you so much for being on here today and giving the listeners a different side of pageantry and coaching, that if they're not even in the pageant world, that this is something that I would definitely want to invest in, is because you never know when you're going to be behind the camera, and you might as well go ahead and prepare yourself for it. And for all of our pageant girls out there, or guys, this is something that I think you guys should definitely check out, is sit down with Elyse and really go through that trial and just see what it's like and what you can learn. And I'm super excited for all of your stuff coming out in the future. But I want all of my listeners to be able to find you. Will you drop your Instagram handle or your website so that they can get to you as well? And I'll make sure to put it in the bio below so people can find you.
Absolutely. So I'm on Instagram. It is at telegenic.queen. And then I also have a website, telegenicqueen.com. So just so you guys if you don't know what telegenic means, it's basically the combination of television and photogenic. So it's being relatable and having a really good on-camera presence. So that's kind of where I came up with the name.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad you said that, because that was going to be one of my questions towards the end of this podcast. But we have come to the final moments of it, and I want to ask you the same question I ask everyone. Are you ready?
I'm so ready, I think. Maybe.
All right. In what way has pageants positively impacted you?
Pageants have positively impacted me because I can relate to them. I can relate to all the women and girls who are there. I have worked hard to get to where I am. And you guys are, just the hardest workers I have ever met in my life. And you all inspire me to want to be better, to want to be bigger, and to want to be professional and just do all these amazing things, because I don't know how you all juggle what you do. So you have all inspired me in your own little way to be a better me, to be a better professional, and to be a better really mom as well. I'm a mom of 2 toddlers, and it just keeps me going. Like, your guys' energy is amazing. The sisterhood is amazing. And I feel like you all inspire me to just be better overall.
I love that. And that is truly one of the things that I'm glad that this community really can do for you and brings to the table for you to be able to, invest in these girls and really see what's going on in their lives. And I'm really glad that it has touched you and changed you in so many ways that you probably would have never even imagined to happen. But, guys, you never know what happens in the future. So I guess you'll have to check out next week on another episode of The Crowning Moment. Bye, guys.